I am the body snatcher. You know we love tummy tucks on this show. Welcome back to Boxing.
Welcome back, loyal fight fans, to yet another round of boxing. But this week deserves it, and I told you guys as much. Today, we're here to talk about Cool Boy Steph, Stephen Fulton Jr. taking on Daniel Roman, and we'll also quickly, touch on Morrell versus Henderson in the co-main event there. This for the PBC card, obviously. Cool Boy Steph, obviously, just, annihilating opponents on his way up. Had a really good performance against Angela Leo. And then just unified belts fighting Brandon Figueroa. So, the trajectory here for Cool Boy Steph is only upwards. Okay, and basically, Daniel Roman's a good, scrappy kind of guy. Now, he has tendency to, it's not that he can't box, okay? So, because sometimes we say, he's a dog, he's a scrappy fighter, fighting out of the red corner. But this is a guy who scraps, but he can box a little. And his problem is his tendency to naturally always get away from that and resort back into getting into a fight. That is exactly what Cool Boy Steph just dealt with in his last performance against Figueroa. That was a fight of the year contender. Figueroa had loads of success against him. I did have Stephen Fulton Jr. winning that fight by decision, and that's how it turned out. But that was a damn close fight. Could have swung it a little bit kind of either way. And I think that this performance we're going to see will basically be more of the same against Daniel Roman. Because Cool Boy Steph's just way too slick. He's way too slick. So he's not... He's going to poke the jab out there. He's going to stick stiff jabs down to the body and try to fight long against this guy a little bit. And he's going to wait for Daniel Roman to inevitably get back like every human being. And this is a really, really, really hard thing to train out of people. When you train people and you can show them how to throw a combination you want them to throw, you can stick them in there and say, don't throw your hands, but let me show you this defense. You can train a fighter to fight well. This is one of the reasons why you've always heard stories about people look so good in the gym, but they can't fight at the higher level in front of a crowd in a real fight. They don't look like the monster they've looked like in the gym. This is one of the reasons why is people naturally going back to what they're used to doing, what their body tells them they want to do. It's hard when you're getting punched in the face to remember a game plan. It's hard to remember, stay conservative and wait for this exact kind of timing. And other than that, I'm only really jabbing and moving. It's very hard. So once people start off, both fighters are cold. In the first round, there's a little feeling out process. Sometimes it already gets into it in the first round, but certainly by the second, we've started getting into it. People start letting their hands go a little, and people get away from the game plan. I think that Daniel Roman will get away from the game plan. I think that he will, again, try to just get into a fight because that's naturally what he wants to do. So I think he will eventually, inevitably, resort back to that. And when he does, Cool Boy Steph will be waiting with great counters. Now, these guys are 122 pounds, super bantamweight, so they're not huge. And Stephen Fulton Jr. also not known particularly as such a hard hitter, but he's too slick. He's too good. So when he gets the counters off, I'm not sure that we'll see a knockout here. I like this to go to decision. Even Daniel Roman trying to throw his hands and getting into fights as he has, he's gone to decision a lot as well, just because these guys are smaller. For your money, I like Cool Boy Steph, Stephen Fulton Jr. to win by decision. And quickly, before we take off here, we're also going to touch on that Morrell fight. So Morrell is a guy who only has 6 pro fights, coming into his pro career looking very good. He's quickly building a kind of a underground, there's rumblings about him. So this will be a good guy to check out. Also, as far as the underground wants of fans and desires of some people in the world, they want to see Morrell fight Benavidez. I mean, I just think Benavidez, gets through that pretty easily, and it's not because Morrell's not good. It's just there's only 6 fights there, in his pro career. So normally, unless you're Vasily Lomachenko, you're not doing stuff like that, fighting people like that yet. So this is a good test, though, because Henderson has way more fights. I think Henderson has around 20 fights or so. So this is a guy with kind of double the pro experience or more. And Henderson's a good fighter. Henderson's got some power, but so does Morrell. I think that, Morrell, being of that kind of Cuban descent, he's got all that slick shit that Cuban fighters always do in there, but he's more along the lines of like a Yuriorkis Gamboa type, who will also blend that well, that defensive,ness and that ability to move your head and that footwork. He'll blend that well with coming forward as well in spurts. And that is what a lot of Cuban fighters, which I love those guys. I really appreciate that stuff. But that is a lot of what they need to actually win these pro fights. It's different in the way that it's scored. The longer the rounds, or the longer the fight is, the more people want to see you throw in your hands. That's what stops a lot of Cuban fighters from winning fights. So I like Morrell here by stoppage. If you guys can parlay these things together, even those 2 fights, that'd be pretty good. That'd be a pretty good parlay. But as we said before, too, we got Devin Haney winning by decision in the last video. We can see if we can parlay that with Stephen Fulton Jr. by decision and Morrell by stoppage, and we'll be on our way to looking good. And there's one more. I knew that I told you guys, but I'm sure you still can't believe it. But there's going to be one more video because it's very deserving of it. I'm even the next video on Naoya Inoue versus Nonito Donaire number 2. And I am even, you guys will forgive me, I'm a single parent. And I have to work, a job outside of doing this, obviously. So you guys will forgive me if I can't, and I don't want to make promises I can't keep, but I'm going to try, because that Donaire Inoue fight is on a Tuesday, to see if it's possible to work out some sort of little fight companion, at the very least just for that main event fight. Being that it's on a Tuesday, being that it'll take place when I'm off of work, when it's not too late and my daughter's sleeping, and we'll see if we can get some friends over here, hang out with her a bit, and and see if we can do a live fight reaction to that fight, a little fight companion, if you will. But as we always say, what are we trying to do here on unboxing? That's right, make more fight fans.